1.5 years ago, I had a chance meeting that led to the possibility of doing this, and a lot of hard work made it possible. There's too many people to thank individually, and I am going to try to recognize some individuals, but you all that have been a part of this process and have volunteered and made this happen, you know who you are, and I deeply thank you from the bottom of my heart. Starting out, I'd like to recognize City of Covington Mayor Joseph Meyer. True leadership recognizes vision and mission, and I appreciate his recognition in allowing this project to take place. So back to the meeting. 1.5 years ago, I had the opportunity to meet Ron Washington, City Commissioner of City of Covington, and in getting to know him, I inquired what his political platform was. And one thing stuck out to me, which was he wanted to improve the recreational activities for citizens of Covington. And I said, Ron, do you know what disc golf is? No, he didn't. So that was the jumping off point. And he's after discussing and him seeing how much passion I had for the sport of disc golf, he said, I need to introduce you to some people. And that's how this started. Maybe a couple of months later, I first had my meetings with Ben Oldages and Patrick Moore, who are on the Parks and Recreation Board here. Ben is the current Director of Parks and Recreation for the City of Covington. Throughout this process, Ben has been tremendously helpful in providing me guidance in executing this plan and vision, and he has directed my seemingly aimless enthusiasm and energy in a direction that has allowed for this to take place, so thank you, Ben. Joey Hood is a very good friend of mine and has helped me with the vision and design of the course. He is an absolute wordsmith. It's a good thing I'm here talking today and not him, otherwise there's no telling what you all would be led to do. He really has this amazing talent to present information in such a way that makes you come to the conclusion that he wants you to. And he's just an absolute wordsmith and a really, really genius individual. He also did all the T signs today, so feel free to take a look at those. They're quite well done. So last August, Joey and I had a meeting with the Devou Park Advisory Committee, who manages the Devou Park Trust, and there we met Pete Nerone, who is the current director of that board, and several other outstanding citizens through that first meeting. The conclusion of that meeting was, okay, the mission's set. Devou Park disc golf sounds like a thing we want to explore. Can you make it happen? And so at that time, we then had to come up with a design philosophy that fit the current park infrastructure and the objectives that we wanted to have figured out here at Devou. We wanted to emphasize safety. This is an extremely busy park, and we needed to make sure that this design was safe first and foremost. Next objective was utilizing unprogrammed space that was currently being maintained, and we've accomplished that. Thirdly, we wanted to minimize environmental impact, and we wanted to focus on removal of invasive species for anywhere in the forest that we needed to go to get fairways created. And lastly, we wanted to create a challenging, fair, inclusive disc golf course that would satisfy any level of disc golfer. After coming up with the design, we again met with the Devou Park Advisory Committee, and after design and funding were approved, the real work began. That's the moment, or when that began, is when I had the opportunity to meet Jason Roberts, current Devou Park Supervisor and Urban Forestry Supervisor. And I don't know how else to say it. The guy's an absolute workhorse. I mean, I would come out here with a list of things to do. I'd get here and they'd already be done. I'd say, well, Jason, I guess I got to find something else to do. He also has the right equipment for anybody that hates honeysuckle, invasive honeysuckle. He's got a machine that's called a Fecon, and it's been the true workhorse and really what has allowed us to get this in the ground so quickly. You know, in 2.5 hours, he can do what would have taken us a full week's worth of work by hand. So in the last 3 months, we've had about over 30 volunteers that have donated countless hours of their time and effort and energy to cutting down last remaining honeysuckles, dragging deadfall, picking up trash. This would not have been possible without your volunteer efforts. So again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much. Before we begin with the ceremonial first throw as well as the spectator event today, I'd like to thank a couple of people. My parents weren't going to be here, but they are. So Mom and Dad, thank you all very much for always giving me the opportunity to do big things, and I've always appreciated that. I also would like to thank Dave Greenwell, PDGA 962. He's my mentor for both disc golf as well as course design, and he's been a close friend for a number of years, so thanks to him. Next, I'd like to thank the Greater Cincinnati Disc Golf Association, the Nati Disc Golf, and DiscGolfVanLife. Each one of these organizations nominated a player for today's spectator event, and they also donated money for the Skins Fund. So big thanks to the Nati Greater Cincinnati Disc Golf Association and DiscGolfVanLife. So at this time, I'd like to open the microphone to City Commissioner Ron Washington.
All right, thanks, Ryan.
Dr. Freibert has thanked many of the people that I would like to thank also, but I don't think it would hurt to read their names again. Joey Hood, Jason Robert, and the Devou Public Works team, Covington Parks and Recreation, Joseph and William Oldages, the Devou Park Advisory Committee, various volunteers, David Whitehouse, Director of Boone County Parks, and many volunteers. As Dr. Ryan said, we had a chance meeting and he started talking about disc golf. Well, I didn't know what he was talking about. So I found out that he was talking about Frisbees. So I'm like, okay, all right, I get it. Started doing a little research and saw how popular this sport was. You know, I was a kid that grew up in this city playing basketball and stickball on the street. And to see what this sport has and is going to be here in our city is so exciting. Myself and the mayor and the rest of the board of commissioners, it wasn't a hard sell. And this was truly a case of give the money and get out of the way. Get out of the way, government, and let the people work. And you all worked, and we thank you. We truly thank you. And I'm going to get out of the way, and I'm going to introduce our mayor, Joseph Meyer.
Well, welcome to Covington on a beautiful, warm Saturday morning in the fall, huh? Well, this disc golf program is, we're in the vanguard of a growing sport, and like Ron, I had no idea what disc golf was until I asked my grandchildren. They're players, and they're really excited about the addition of this facility to the park. You can't have a program like this without thanking people, and although many have been thanked already, I'm going to repeat. Repetition is never a bad thing when you're thanking people for their good work. So Ryan Freibert, Dr. Freibert, thank you for your leadership and your advocacy for this. All of you who volunteered, it's not possible without your engagement and your effort to turn this into a reality. I want to give a shout out to our city staff leadership. Ken Smith, our city manager, Keith Bales, our public works director, and Brandon Holmes, our neighborhood services director, because they are the ones who provided the staff resources and the expertise and the guidance to help make all of this possible. From the Public Works staff, we've talked about Jason Roberts. I too am going to add my kudos to Jason Roberts for his work, and to Ben Doldages from as our Director of Parks for his extensive engagement in all this. The funding was provided through the Devou Trust, through Devou Properties, Inc., with the recommendations from our Devou Park Advisory Committee. Money is the grease that makes the world go round, so thanks for the financial support. I also want to mention particularly Ron Washington for his engagement. He saw this opportunity, and he's the one who, from the commission level, really pushed it and provided the impetus to keep going. Too often we get projects, they get started, they stall, they linger around. They move quickly because somebody's a pusher. Ron Washington's a pusher. So this is a wonderful addition to the recreational opportunities that are available in the city of Covington and in Devou Park. We congratulate and thank all of you for helping to make this happen. Now we want to ask Dr. Freibert to come on up here with us for a minute.
An appreciation from the city of Covington. And this says, in appreciation of the valuable contribution you have made to further the quality of life for all the people of Covington and our visitors. Doc, we appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We just made Dr. Freibert an honorary citizen of the great city of Covington.
Thanks.